for everyone. Only 4. Today is last. No, no, no. Other to you can't even. uh, that security is very high these days. Previously, what used to happen? Everything came on Telegram. But now, these days, very, very difficult to get. huh? 4 lectures you will get. But total we are having around, I think it will take around 120 or 130 class. The plan is for 90, but I'm telling you honestly, it will take around 120, 130. Because what will happen when everything will be over, then there will be some extra classes. The level will be very high. For example, Woodrow Wilson we studied, that was very basic level. But after completing everything, still running. ये मना कर दीजिए. ये कल का ही है. You're not having. हाँ just take. हाँ कल का है. Just go and take. है ना? हाँ क्लासिकल थियरी ना. हाँ 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 ठीक है. So I've checked your copy. ठीक है. Take this. Good. है ना? I will say. है ना? See, before starting, I will give you some feedback. Okay. Right. Just give me your copy on the. Just give. है ना? Don't worry. है ना? Nothing will happen. है ना? Okay. See, first thing, very basic, because you people are new, right? So I will tell you very basic. Have you written any essay or anything when you are in class 10th, class 2nd? On which topic you have written essay? My favorite teacher. My cow. You may be remembering. So let us say the topic is my favorite teacher. Simply I am telling you very basic how to do answer writing. Okay? Although you tried very good. See, always remember, when we write anything in UPSC, either it is essay, your general studies, or your optional public administration, always remember and write this in your copy also. Okay? Because it will be helpful in your answer writing. Have you searched on internet? Do you know what is answer writing in UPSC? People say that if you want to crack UPSC, you should have good command on answer writing. So answer writing is a key for cracking this exam, simply due to one reason, because first time UPSC is getting your introduction properly when it is checking your copy in mains. How copies in prelims are checked? By machine. There is no human interface in prelims, but in mains, evaluators are going to read and evaluate your copies. So obviously that is why people say that your main focus should be on answer writing, handwriting. Okay? So usually in UPSC in general, we first of all we will give one introduction. Okay? What is introduction? So let us say A is your favorite teacher, or what is teacher, you can write in introduction. So for example, question is telling you, asking you what? Read the question. The question which I gave you. Explain the progressive era in USA. Right? So the introduction should contain the main theme on which question has been asked. Write this. introduction must cover main theme on which question has been asked. Okay. The main theme on which question has been asked. So question has been asked on. Good. So your introduction should be on progressive era, and you also, and in copies you have written this. So introduction is fine, right? Little bit problem is there that I have given in comment. But the good thing is that at the basic level you have introduced by what is progressive era, that is called definitional approach. Okay. So remember that whenever you are starting any introduction with what, you don't need to write what. What simply means, so question is on progressive era. So simply remember what is progressive era. Write the answer. This is called definitional approach of introduction. Definitional approach of introduction, and this definitional approach is very helpful in public administration. In all the optionals, it may not work much in GS 1, 2, 3 and 4. In GS 4 also, this just right here for GS 4 and optional, it is highly recommended to use this technique for writing or mentioning introduction. Okay. So what aspect should be there in introduction? Okay. Remember this. What? Okay. Now come to the second one, is called body of the answer. First one was introduction of the answer. Second is called body of the answer. Now what exactly has been asked? It should be in your body. So question is telling you to explain. Question is telling you to explain what? Progressive era. Okay? See, if you'll feel difficulty, just tell me. Okay? Because since you are in initial stages, you may feel difficult. Because what is the problem in school? Hardly in any school you will find that they are teaching you these things. Either you are from arts background, science background, any background, commerce, anywhere, they are not going to teach you. Even in literature, they are not going to tell you. This is called question. What? Any idea? Question directive. So you may have heard terms like explain, elaborate. Have you heard discuss? You have seen previous year questions of UPSC. You have seen. If you will see, you will find terms like these UPSC is using very much. And comment, critically evaluate, evaluate in the light of given statement. So terms like these are known as question directive. Question directive simply means what is the direction of question. So the body should be as per question directive. Right? This body of the answer, body of the answer should be as per question directive. See, this you may not be knowing, but you have written this. Anna? You have written this in your answer. in body you are writing about, you are explaining about the progressive era. See, the exact meaning of explain, I will tell you. The exact meaning of explain is whatever question is saying you, you need to be in agreement with that. Agreement simply means, you can't write like, no, there was no progressive era, disadvantages of progressive era was flop, something like that. You don't need to write. Because in UPSC, most of the questions they are asking in a very negative way. They will say progressive, there was nothing like progressive era. Okay, do you agree with this view? So you need to defend why you think there was progressive era. Most of the questions in UPSC you will find the language which is used by UPSC is often very negative. And many people, what they are doing, they are writing answer in a negative language. Okay? And if you will remember that if you will write everything in a negative way, so UPSC is not going to give marks. In interview also, they will not give marks because IAS is not a service where you can talk many things about negative, because the moment you will join the service in field, there are lots of negativity in the field. You may be knowing that. You may be hearing fight between politician and so transfer happened. Immediately they will transfer. Lots of negativities are there in the job. So UPSC always want those kind of people who are confident, their approach is positive, right? That is why this exam is so much rigorous. That is why so much rigorous that it takes around 2 years just for basic preparation. So 1 year you will prepare and 1 year what you will do? You will give exam. So in May you are giving prelims, in September you are giving mains, then in January result is going to come, then from March to 15th May interview is there. So it took around 1 year for exam and 1 year for preparation. This exam is rigorous because of the challenge of job. And this always have been the case right from 1970. This process is around of 1 year. You know that like 6-7 years ago, UPSC used to conduct exam in August, in the month of August. There also it used to take 1 year. So body should be containing question directive. Good thing is that you have also written as per question directive, but exact meaning is this, but just write that. You don't need to know, because this is a kind of slow process. In 1 day you can't learn everything. It is a slow process. Slowly and slowly you will get to know exactly what is the meaning of these question directives. The third thing you should remember, because I don't find third thing in your copy, that is called what? Conclusion. That is called conclusion. Conclusion is on a very basic level. It should be a way forward, or what is your stand on the topic on which question has been asked. Right? So this basic principle of answer writing, remember this basic principle, because this you need to follow. This you need to follow in number 1 essay, number 2 GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, number 3 paper 1, paper 2 of public administration. So the good thing about answer writing is that once you have very good command on answer writing, so you will perform everywhere. Huh? You will perform very good everywhere if you have good command on answer writing. Have you seen any topper's copy? Have you read any topper's copy? Try to read that. What they are writing. Read topper's copy related to essay. You will find on ForumIAS website, you will find lots of copies of toppers. From every subject, either it is GS, optional or essay, just try to download and just see what they are writing. Just see how they are writing, how they are presenting the answer. Okay? So this was a very basic feedback which I gave on the basis of your answer. Okay? Now let us start today's topic. What is the topic today? The classical theory and scientific management. The classical theory and scientific management. So yesterday we were debating on this topic. What is classical? What is classical? Before that, just tell me what we read yesterday. We will just do a basic revision, then we will start this. Just basic revision. What were the topics we covered yesterday? Okay, contributions of Woodrow Wilson. First tell me if you can remember some of the contributions. So this is kind of quick revision. Okay, very good. Evolution of state. What else we did? Administration should filter public opinion. Very good. Okay. Administration should learn operational techniques from business for achieving what? Three E. Efficiency, economy and effectiveness. Right? We need to study administration as this was inspired from Charles Darwin idea of positivism, that human problems can be solved by scientific reason or logic or with the help of evidence. What else? There should be separate school for civil services training. What else? Okay, very good. Abolishment of spoil system. Okay. No, Wilson does not talk about one best way. No. Remember this, he didn't talk about one best way. One best way will start from today. Because Wilson is not scientist, remember that. Wilson is not a scientist. Okay. Then he talked about learning from Europe. Right. So one new discipline was born. Right. A subtopic of public administration, later on comparative public administration. Right. Then he says that government is a trustee of resources. Here we can see similarities between idea of Wilson and Mahatma Gandhi. Right. Then again I told you, Wilson says that Wilson focuses on means. Means is good, but what is the end? It doesn't talk much. But Mahatma Gandhi says that both means as well as ends should be ethical. Right? Although UPSC has not asked this is kind of very high level thing, but still they can ask in GS4, and who knows, in public administration also they can ask this, right? So this was contribution of Woodrow Wilson. After that, what we studied? Criticisms of Woodrow Wilson, right? Some criticisms are that he told that administration should be studied like science, but what are the aspects on which we can study administration as like science he failed to give, right? The idea that we need to learn from Europe, the same idea was criticized, that American ethos of equality, liberty will be lost because European administration was basically monarchical, right? Number 3, Woodrow Wilson doesn't give, it is not written in your handout, but remember this, if you read the Woodrow Wilson, you will feel like some generalist is telling you, okay, this is problem, that is problem, this is problem, but what is the solution? It doesn't give any solution. Have you heard commentary, cricket commentary? It is like cricket commentary. So he's simply saying, okay, this situation is bad, this situation is bad, but what is the answer? Okay, answer he is not giving. And this is one of the basic problem with most of the scholars in this discipline. They will only talk about problem. Very less scholar will give solution, and interestingly, all classical thinkers have given solution. All the classical thinkers, that is why they are relevant every time, timeless relevance. Whatever time will be there, their ideas, that is why classical, the term is conveying this only, classical songs, for example. But in social science, this term came into existence. This also we studied yesterday. In which discipline? Economics. Good. In economics, it came into existence. Who gave this term? Adam Smith. Adam Smith says that government doesn't interfere in the private business. So what will happen? Due to the competition, prices automatically will go down and everyone will be benefited. Progressive era, in reality, this idea failed. In reality, this idea failed. But again from 1970, this idea again came. But this time there was no corporate nexus. State became very powerful now. So this classical idea of Adam Smith, right? The idea was very good. See, many times the intention will be very good, but the problem will be in implementation. In your personal life also, you may have faced such kind of thing, right? You may have thought that by studying this much, I will score 95% in 10th or 12th. But how much people score? 70, 75, 80, 85. Not everyone, but most of the people you will find this. So remember that what exactly thinker is saying and what exactly is implemented, there will always be some differences. But you need to be very clear on what are those differences. This I am telling you because the thinker, today we are going to cover lots of criticism you will find about this thinker. But if you read this thinker properly, you will feel that there is no need to do this much criticism, because he himself somewhere has said this, that if my idea is not implemented properly, then it will cause havoc. Have you heard about Albert Einstein on his principle atom bomb was discovered? Do you know this? E is equal to what? See, this equation took around 300 years to develop. You know the history? 300 years it took. Albert Einstein only discovered, you know what? This was already there. Energy is directly proportional to mass into speed of light. C is the speed of light. He only discovered one thing, this, and he proved that. Nothing else. So, this discovery took around 70 to 80 years. That energy is directly proportional to mass. Who is the father of chemistry? Lavoisier. He discovered this. Okay? I forgot the name. The person who discovered that energy is directly proportional to speed of light. And she was lady, I forgot his name. Her name I forgot. And French name very difficult to remember. Okay? Lavoisier I know because very famous name, because he was also the tax inspector during French Revolution, and he was killed during French Revolution. So Einstein discovered only this, E is equal to mc square. He himself has written that if this principle is not used properly, then it may cause havoc for humanity. And what was discovered by using this? Atom bomb, later on nuclear bomb. First atom bomb, then hydrogen bomb, then nuclear bomb. So tell me, was the intention of Einstein this one? No. Intention was something else, although with the help of this in daily life, you can see lots of application, positive application, but the negative application which this equation has given, that is, it will took hardly 1 second and everything is gone. No. You are getting confused. 90 years for this. It took, see, Lavoisier is the person who proved this. People were knowing this. Energy is directly proportional to mass. People were knowing this. But in science, anything you will say doesn't matter until not proven. Okay? Relation between energy and speed of light, people were knowing that there is some relation, but exactly what is the relation was, it took around 130 years. People tried very much. Remember dialectical method of theory development. Here also same thing is going on. So let us say this is 1, this is 1, this is 2, and who came then? Albert Einstein is equal to mc square. The exact relation is this. He proved this. No, he doesn't live 300 years, but just count this. See, during Industrial Revolution, what used to happen? Those were the time. So I'm also working on same topic. You're also working on same topic. You're also working on same topic. Many times what used to happen? People used to get different conclusion. But the key is who is proving first. Because during that time, have you heard this term? Patent. Have you heard? What is this? I have discovered something, so I will approach the government office and I will get patented for 20 years. Anyone can copy, subject to they are giving, let's say 20% money to you if they are earning from that. In international relation, you will learn one term, technology transfer. Why European countries are not very much keen to transfer technology to India or any developing country? Because the moment you will get to know how this technology is made, slowly and slowly it will be replicated everywhere and the prices will go down. What is China model? This is the China model. They are copying everything and making cheap product. This is the China model because manufacturing is very cheap there. You know that they have copied their metro is bullet train from where? Japan. Still today in Japan, hardly any one accident you will find which is related to bullet train. Original maker of bullet train is Japan only. You will never find concept of bullet train in Europe. There you will find high speed train like we are having Vande Bharat. Vande Bharat is not inspired from bullet train. It is inspired from European high speed train. In Germany, France, this culture is there of high speed train. But in Japan, culture is there of bullet train. So first, this is real story I am telling you. So China first signed the agreement, took technology into China. They learned everything. There is one technique called reverse engineering. Learned everything by reverse engineering. Then they told Japan, so we don't want this. We will make by ourselves. And highest number of accident related to bullet train in history has been in China. So where they didn't give them money, this money they refused to give to Japan because they said by new technique we have came to same conclusion. You maybe see here Delhi metro. Who made this metro? Japanese people. Mitsubishi, you may be knowing Mitsubishi is a very big company. It is making vehicle and many things it is making. Solar, many things it is making. Mitsubishi, Delhi metro, and hardly you will find any big accident or even a small incident related to metro. In India, records of metro is very good. Why? Japanese technology. But they have not done technology transfer. They have not done that till today. Because the moment they will do, this will be gone. Because there is one technique called reverse engineering. See what is reverse engineering? Simply I will tell you. So I am telling you public administration. Okay? Now you are going to home and you are teaching something else in some different way. But you are teaching same thing. What is that? Reverse engineering. Simple. The end result will be same, but process will be different. Okay? Now let us start Taylor. But before starting Taylor, I will give you, if you want to understand Taylor in a very brief, in one line, I will give you some basic idea. So 2 examples I will give you, then we will start Taylor. Okay? Because see, after reading Taylor, I have seen that people don't realize what he has discovered. You will not feel today. But during 1910, 1901, when this person discovered that thing, today you will feel, what is this? This is a very common sense thing. But during that time, it was not very common sense. So 2 examples I will give you. Number 1, you people eat burger. You don't eat. Have you visited McDonald's, Burger King, any outlet you have visited? McD never you have visited. Acha, you have visited. So there what is happening? So you went and you ordered one burger. Then what is happening? Okay. See how burgers are made. You can see in McD. In any outlet you can see. You can see everything you can see there. So you ordered what? Burger. So what is burger? Burger is basically, it is like this. So bun is there. Here these are vegetables, stuffing vegetables. And this is what? Fried. Fried and grilled. Grilled means they will put, they will put between two plates. That is called grilling. Fried, fry, you know, they in oil they will fry. See, if you will visit any outlet, just observe what they are doing. So you will see the moment you ordered, okay, I want burger, then he will give you the bill. Okay, just sit for 2 minutes, you will get. So person number 1, he will start frying the burger. Okay? After that, he will pass this to person 2. Live, you can see there, live. What he will do, he will put vegetables in between vegetables. Okay? Then he will pass this to person 3. He will put sauce. Then what else they are putting? Cheese. He will put cheese. Then he will pass this same to person 4. And see, this is taking how much? Hardly 1 minute. 1 minute, half minute, 1 minute, half minute. And this person is not putting vegetable in one burger. You will find there around 10-20 burger. Bun it will be kept and they will ekdam fastly he will put. Okay? Then he will pass to some other person, and what he will do? He will do a packing. Then he will pass to person 4 who will put it on the table, then you will take it. Okay? So let us say on Monday or any day you visited MACD at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay? So what person 1 is doing now? Frying. And let us say they are working from 10 to 6, just for the sake of understanding. What this person 2nd is doing? Person 3 what he is doing? Person 4 what he is doing? Person 5 what he is doing? Is delivering you. Let us say you again visited at 1 o'clock in noon. What person he will be doing? What person we will be doing? What person 3 will be doing? Person 4 packing. Again you visited at 4 o'clock. What they will be doing? This is called terrorism. Nothing else. Yeah, terrorism. This is what Taylor discovered. In detail we need to read in public administration, but just for the sake of understanding I am telling you, because McDonald's is the first food outlet in whole world which used the idea of industrial revolution into food industry. This is the first example. Okay? So one person is doing same thing. Every time he is doing same thing. I will give you example of myself. Okay? So have you heard about this online lectures? After COVID, the culture of online lectures have started very much. These days now again it has increased decreased very less, but still online lecture you can see. Okay? So one reality I am telling you. So let us say, because in COVID time I used to take ethics class in online. In online mode I used to take. Right? Ethics class, then public administration, mains crash course I used to take. So no one was there. Okay? Only me and camera person. So what they were doing, so let us say class is of 2 hours 30 minutes. Two hours 30 minutes. ठीक है? I used to take this much, but when it was coming in student portal, classes were basically of 2 hours 18 minutes. How? For example, if I am taking this, I am drinking water, then I will put, they will simply use to cut that and edit the video. Because these are what? Unnecessary things. Okay, this is also terrorism. This is also terrorism. Now, how this is terrorism? So now we will start terrorism. But just remember these two examples. These two I directly told you application of the technique which we are going to study today. These are the applications in real time situation, because any theory, if you are knowing the application, it will become very easy to understand. Or what will happen? Only theoretical knowledge you will get, and theoretical knowledge is very easy to forget. With examples, you are not going to forward. So, two examples, what you need to remember? Example number one is, so tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, you are not having class. If you have time, just go visit McDonald's. Just see live. Technical problem. ठीक है, चलो we'll start. I think they have. Okay. So once again, we are going to come to progressive era. And what were the industrial problems? Now listen carefully. Just tell me, what were the industrial problems in USA during those time? Industrial problems simply means problems which were coming from urbanization, but it was related only to industry, nothing else. Means urbanization is not industrial problem. It is social problem. Right? So just assume I told you, but I simply didn't told you that it can be considered as an industrial problem. Very good. Number one was working hours, which were what? Long. Right? Around 12, 14, 16 hours a worker needed to work. Number two, and obviously if this much work anyone is doing and you're not giving him holiday, he will become tired. So due to that tiredness, accidents were very high during those time due to this culture of working long hours plus the machines which were used from the side of owners on the behalf of owners and managers, they don't use to supervise or very much focus on machines, right? Very good. Tell. 1860 to 1900. Progressive era's timeline, just write this. Progressive era timeline exactly is from 1865 to 1910 or 1920. Because Woodrow Wilson was president of USA up to 1920. He lost the election in 1921. Huh? He became very old. He was having health. No, not Obama. He was having health problem. So during last 1 year presidency, he was very inactive. No, 1865 to 1920, and just write in bracket, this is the year when Woodrow Wilson lost the presidential election. And after 3-4 years, he also died. He died very early. The moment he lost the election, after, let us say 1 year, he lost the, but he won Nobel Prize for League of Nations. Today that is United Nations. Okay. So in history, when you will study League of Nations, that you will study. World War I, when you will study. So always remember one person, his name is Woodrow Wilson. There you can remember public administration also. Okay. So accidents were very high. Number 2. Number 3. Acha, tell me one thing. If this much problem was there, why the owners doesn't, why did they are not taking any step for improving these things? Easy availability of labor, good. But see, the one problem was, if they are taking proper steps, then they will be in loss. Right? Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Inefficiency in industries were very high during this time. See, I told you one thing, in progressive era, the corporate people used to earn very much. But that was the case only with 20% corporates. Rest 80%, they went into lots of debt. They became bankrupt. Many economic losses used to happen in USA during those time. Have you heard this 1929 Great Depression? See, this kind of Great Depression in USA you will find after the country got independence, in every 20 years it used to come. So we only know very good picture of USA, but there are lots of problems in that country also, even today. Even today, huge problem is there, which may not related to society, but in economics. Right? Write this: inefficiency in industries. Okay. First, they were not doing these things. They were not implementing any reform on this, because they will, the moment they are implementing reform, they are going into loss. Number 2, inefficiency in the industry. See, why there will not be inefficiency? If you'll ask any person to work this much long, 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, 20 days, 2 months, but human is ultimately not a machine. So he will start feeling tired, and slowly efficiency will come down and inefficiency will increase in the industries. Right? So what happened due to these things? Due to these reasons, right, the corporate industry or the industrialist people started searching for techniques which will solve these problems. Right? What problems? Inefficiency. Okay. Working hours were very long. See, same thing we can write in one another language, in public administration language. Unscientific practices in industry. Can we write this? Unscientific practices in industry. There was no scientific basis for most of the things which were prevalent in the industries in those days. You know how people used to get the job. So they will simply went to the manager and he will ask how much pay you want. So let us say I told sir I want $1 per day. So I will ask next guy who is in the line how much you want. He told no I want 0.80. So let us say someone told I want 0.30. So he'll take it, okay, you are hired, rest you are fired. Huh? Today how selection is going on? They will check your skill, whether you can do that kind of job or not. During that time, there was no such type of thing. And remember that that is the era in USA where literacy rate was still not very good. People were not very skilled because the machines which were discovered in industrial revolution, machine itself was a new phenomena. You are getting? Because see, if some machine is discovered, let's say 20 years old machine. So not everyone may be knowing how to handle that machine. Right? So it was a big challenge that time, but still directly they used to hire. So hiring people, only one thing was the basis, that is money or pay. Okay. So who started searching for techniques? Who started? Industries. Remember this line. Managers, industrialist, owners started searching those techniques which can solve these problems in the industry. Because of the pressure of progressive era, governments now started promulgating legislature laws. ठीक है, फिर से just these problems. उसके बाद just write point number 2. Due to pressure of progressive thinkers, governments or US government started making stringent laws related to working hours in industry, compensation to laborers during accident, and labor unions. Okay. See, one day you are asking me about Karl Marx. This is the timeline when Karl Marx started writing. Because the conditions of labors were really very worst. And a huge problem. That is why you will find his idea so much revolutionary. That there will be revolution by blood. Laborers of whole world unite. है Okay, so the owners, managers, industrialists, corporates started searching for those techniques which can solve this problem. And there was one mechanical engineer who developed one technique, and he says that if we'll apply this technique, then this technique is going to solve these problems. And name of this mechanical engineer is Frederick Wilson Taylor. Mathematics. Okay. So background I was trying to tell you how why Taylor developed the technique which we are going to study. Okay. Because he developed because demand was there. Okay. So in Krusk, many more thinkers will come, but since today we are studying Taylor, so we'll focus on Taylor. Okay. And remember that due to this thing, and now labor union came into existence. And the moment they came into existence, huge strike. And if strike is there, obviously inefficiency will increase because for many days industries were closed. So obviously the corporates owners, they also started looking for some good solution. Right? And Taylor was also inspired by Charles Darwin method of positivism, and remember that inspired from positivism of Charles Darwin, now it was believed that we need to discard old techniques. Write this, okay? See, today you may feel like this much writing, but when you revise that after 1 year, because everything what I am telling you, if you are not seeing the video again, you will forget. So please write. Okay? What you have written? Where it was believed that we need to discard, where it was believed that we need to discard old ideas, traditional ideas, which leads to inefficiency, and there is a need for evolving new methods based on scientific reason, which can work everywhere. Okay? Bracket में everywhere, after that open one bracket and write. Later on, this idea became famous by a term one best way. ठीक है? Inspired by Charles Darwin, this idea came into picture that we need to simply discard all the old techniques because they are unscientific, they are not of no use today, and we need to develop those methods, new methods which are based on science, reason, experiment. And later on, this same idea came to be known as one best way because it was now believed among scholars that if you'll discover one new idea based on logic, it will work everywhere. Right? And inspired by this idea, one best way, and this problem, right? Inefficiency, strikes, long working hours, unscientific practices in industry, one mechanical engineer started experimenting in one steel company where he was working, and his name is Taylor. Now we'll little bit. This was background under which Taylor was experimenting. See what I'm telling. Experimenting. First time you may be hearing in public, very less in public administration. You will hear that experimentation. Most of the thinkers here, they will give their theory by experience. Taylor will give theory by experiment. Right? So about Taylor. Don't write Taylor, write full name. About Frederick Wilson Taylor, F.W. Taylor. So one very interesting thing, remember that he was also working in one steel company, and he was seeing all the problems which we discussed. Strike, everything he saw. Then he gave his principle. Okay? So he was a mechanical engineer, but today he is very famous by father of industrial engineering. If you read engineering or maths, there you need to read Taylor. Okay? There was one company. So little bit about I will tell about Taylor. See, Taylor was very good in studies. This you don't need to write. Just listen. No, Taylor was very good in studies. He was preparing for Harvard University entrance exam. He gave the exam. He cracked the exam. But he didn't take admission in that university because he was having huge problem related to eye. Okay. So later on he joined, and he was from kind of rich family. Initially he was from rich family. Later on their condition, the family economic condition worsened. So he joined one firm, one steel company. The name of that company was Midvale Steel. Right, this was the name of company. He first joined this company as a laborer. He first joined this company as a laborer. Okay? And this company was owned by his relative, who was also his very good friend. The owner of this company was, see, this I am telling you, write this relative and friend, because one criticism of the techniques which have been developed by Taylor is that Taylor got support from the listen to abhi to that will also come. Okay? See, why I'm telling you, when I will tell you about the technique, then you will get to know. Okay? Here what it is written? What you are saying? Just see after that what is written. In his career, worked at every level of organization. What is that level? This I am telling you. So first he joined this company as a laborer, right? Then he was promoted to very. See, Taylorism techniques, which I will tell you, one criticism is there that he got very supporting environment, because obviously I will tell you what were the positions he held in that company. So at least for 1 second you will think that कि मतलब what was in that person that he got promoted in so much. It's like what? You joined Reliance as a clerk. After 20 years you became CMD. Stories like that. Now imagine a relative of Ambani joins Reliance as a clerk. You can expect he will be promoted. This is also one criticism of Taylor, that he got so much support because the company in which he was working, the company was owned by his relative. So maybe the techniques, the conclusion which he got there, one can't get same conclusion anywhere else. Okay? But still, this is conclusion. This criticism doesn't stand very much. Just know this. Then he was promoted to time clerk. Right? You will feel something unique about these positions, but during USA, these were some of the positions in steel industry. Then he was promoted to journeyman machinist. Then he was promoted to machine shop foreman. See, until this position, basically one was labor only. One was labor. From this post, that is machine shop foreman, today what we know, one term you may be hearing in many projects, that is supervisor. This, from here, managerial position started. Okay, from here, mid-level position started from here. After this, he became research director. Okay, and after this, he reached at the top level of the company. The name of post was chief engineer of the plant, chief engineer of the Midville Steel. Okay, and he got engineering degree also, but that was from distance learning study. And it was very unique during those days, because you know that engineering degree is very difficult to get by distance learning. Because these are professional degrees. MBBS you can't do by distance learning. Engineering you can't do by distance learning. Okay. So what happened when he was working as machine shop foreman? Okay, listen this properly. When he was working as machine shop foreman, he started observing these three positions. Okay, exactly what these people are doing. Every day he started observing. Every day. Okay, and there is one story about one person, his name is 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐬𝐷𝑇. This is a true story. One movie is also there on this. है ना? He was a laborer in Midvale Steel. So when Taylor was I will say supervisor, because it is very difficult to say every time machines of foreman, machines of foreman. This post is what we say today, supervisor. It is managerial post where you need to supervise the operations. So this person was a laborer in the steel factory. He was earning $1.15 per day. This was his earning. Every day he used to earn this much. Okay? See, two stories I will tell you, because from there Taylor started, gave basic principle of his theory. Okay? So principles you will feel that they are kind of, arey kya hai, that is common sense. But the context, don't forget. What were the problems? Then you will understand. Now Taylor one day asked this person, how much you are getting? So he told, this much I am getting. Okay? And during this time, he used to observe this person when he was earning this, but exactly what he is doing from morning to night. Then he told, okay, then he told, whether you want to earn this much or not, dollar per day. This is around 2. Okay. Then this person, Simit, he told, okay, I want this. But Taylor told him one thing, there is one condition. Number one, whatever I will tell you, you don't have any authority to ask question. You can't ask any question. So he agreed, okay, because compared to this, during those times, this was very big amount. Just remember, just compare, someone is earning 15,000 per month. You called him one day and you told you want to earn 30,000 by doing this same thing. He told, I will work. And you put two conditions. Number one, he don't have any authority to ask question. Number two, he will not anyone that what work he is doing, okay, and the pay what he is getting, he can't tell this to anyone. Okay. Then Taylor started his experiment on this person by observing his movement. So what was the experiment? See, experiment was this. So this is, let us say, this is 10 meter. 10 meter to bahut zyada ho gaya. 10 meter is kind of much. This is, let us say, 2 meter steel rod. Okay. See, some little bit engineering type you will find. But very kind of, but first experiment this person has done in history, in industry, in engineering also, this is the first person who has really developed experiment in industry. That is why called father of industrial engineering. So when he was earning 1.15 what per day, so Taylor saw that 2 meter steel, suppose he need to take from here to here. Okay? So let us say he is taking 8 minutes. Then he is coming again, let us say in 7 minutes. So after, let's say 50-60 trip, this was 12 minutes. Exactly this is not the observation, just because you know, USA, they will not write like this. You will feel somewhat confused. And this again is 14 minutes. Because why? Because he will become tired. But when Taylor increased his money from 1.15 to 1.85, he saw that this came down to 6 minutes. This came down to 5 minutes. And if he was carrying around 100 steel rod on this pay, he started carrying out around 200 to 300 per day. So the first assumption Taylor got, right, this, the first assumption from the first assumption which Taylor got from Schmidt experiment was that money is and who is this Schmidt? A laborer. Remember this. You can write in bracket a laborer in a steel company. Okay, was that money is the primary motivator for work. Okay, money is the primary motivator of the work. Okay, now one thing, so when he was paid this much 1.15, he was taking more time. When payment was increased, he started taking less time. But in morning he will be taking less time, in noon less time, but obviously in evening more time he will take, obviously because he will be tired. So Taylor on an average calculated in whole day on an average how much time he is taking. Average, you understand. So let us say the best time he took was 5 minutes. Okay? And the maximum time he took was, let us say, 25 minutes. Okay? So what is the average of these two? 15 minutes. Okay? 15 minutes. So आ रहा है ना समझ में? If you are not understanding, just tell me. I will tell you again, because these Taylor ना थोड़ा सा, that is why I give you two examples what he discovered, है ना? So 15 minutes, let us write $2. Why write 0.85? But this was reality. He promised him, he paid 1.85, but just for the sake, $2 per day. ठीक है? So Taylor went to conclusion that we want to hire those laborers, because now he's what? Supervisor. Then he became chief engineer one day. So he gave one conclusion that we want to hire, and this is a path breaking conclusion or discovery. Remember that before, how laborer people used to hire? How? On basis of pay. No skill, nothing. Taylor is talking about now skill. So if a person is taking 15 minutes for carrying a steel rod from point A to B, it means that he is the most skilled person for this job. ठीक है? And what will be his pay? $2. उससे क्या होगा? What will happen with this? If you will start recruiting people on the basis of this, you will not recruit inefficient people who are already working. You're understanding? Tell me what I told. Okay. He got average of his time. Okay. So this is skill. Skill of carrying steel rod from point A to point B. If a laborer is able to carry on an average in 15 minutes, it means that he is the best. He is skilled in carrying steel rod from point A to B. We need to hire this kind of worker, and how much we will pay? $2 per day. Right? This came to be known as time and motion study. This came to be known as time and motion study. For example, so I was telling you, I am taking lectures of in online mode 2 hours 30 minutes, but when they are uploading, it is 2 hours 18 minutes. Okay? So let us say they are paying me X thousand or whatever this month money for this. Now, this institute will frame a standard policy. We want that kind of teacher who can teach in offline mode, let us say in 2 hours 20 minutes. Same thing. How they have developed this? How they have reduced this? So unnecessary timing they have edited. Unnecessary motion means this is unnecessary motion. This is unnecessary motion, not needed. Okay, this is motion. Anna? So obviously motion, if they will cut, time will be reduced. This is called time and motion study. You are getting? है ना? ठीक है? आया समझ में ना? हाँ. Now observations of Taylor. Observations of Taylor. You got the book? Acha, today you will get. Okay. Observations of Taylor. So that experiment he was doing separately, that is fine. But with that, he was also observing the behavior of both worker, number one, as well as he was observing the behavior of manager. And remember that Taylor is still in experimenting mode. Worker he started observing when he became okay, and manager he started observing when he became chief engineer. So it took around 9 to 10 years for doing this experiment. Okay. So one thing he saw, workers intentionally they used to perform below their capacity. So if someone can move a steel iron from point A to B in 15 minutes intentionally, they used to do in 25 minutes. Why? Because during that time, number one, pay scale was very low, and they thought that if we will work more, then what will happen? There will be more profit to the industrialist or the owner, and he's not going to anyway sharing that profit to us. Right? This phenomena, Taylor gave one name to this phenomena. It is called soldering. Write this. Soldering. Right after that, workers intentionally operated below their capacity due to low pay, in bracket write non-incentive wage system. Obviously, if the payment itself is very low, what is the incentive? Nothing, no incentive is there. Okay, non-incentive wage system, bracket closed, and believe that if surplus is produced, the owner of the industry is not going to share profit with us. And this was also true. Whatever the profit the owners used to get, they never used to share with the laborers. This was also true. Okay. So this is the first observation which he saw. Right? Now come to manager side. Now, if any accident used to happen in industry, any problem used to happen in industry, and laborer went to the managers, what is the solution? So they used to tell the solution which was completely based on their feeling. Okay, whatever managers used to think, they will say, okay, this is the solution. Okay, no scientific basis, no logic, nothing. And if any problem used to happen further with that, workers used to blame managers and managers used to blame workers. And later on this converted into what? Conflict and strike. So this habit of manager taking decisions on the whims and fancies of personal feeling, Taylor gave one term that is called rule of thumb. Right? Managers, no, in that only right, rule of thumb. Managers used to take decisions in industry on the basis of their personal feelings without any scientific or logic. Okay. Then come to again worker. Taylor observed that when hiring was going on in the industry, the placement of workers were without considering their abilities, skill or aptitude. Right, this Taylor observed that when a hiring of workers used to take place, it was without considering the abilities, skills or interest of laborers, aptitude. It was without considering aptitude, skill, okay, or abilities of worker, right? Number 2, problem related to manager. For becoming manager in industries during those time, hardly any skill was considered. This is also observation by Taylor, right? For becoming manager, hardly any skill was needed rather than skill, loyalty to corporate or industrialist was a key. So when we talk about skill, there was mismatch on both sides. Neither workers were skilled properly, neither managers were skilled properly. Okay? Today this thing is happening, or they are taking, most of the time it is happening. That is why you are having this exam, interview and everything. In corporate also, if you want to join corporate, there they will take aptitude test, then technical round after that interview. Because these things they are checking. And Taylor is the first person who in history for the first time, right, for the first time he observed and developed some proper techniques. Okay. Now Taylor says due to this mismatch between both, there is conflict in the industry. Okay. So I told you there was huge conflict strikes. So first of all, acha, we are discussing this observation is going on, but side by side he is doing experiment. Which experiment? Which I told you. Two experiments I told you, na? He calculated average. Side by side he is doing these things. And he is also doing his job. Right? Okay. Now he gives the solution. Now what is the solution of this? And this solution came to be known as Taylorism. After just right, he gave solution for this, for resolving the industrial conflict and increasing the efficiency among the industries. And solution came to be known as a four-step process, that is Taylorism. ठीक है? You have written that na average he calculated and everything. 15 minutes he got. You have written that na. Step number 1. Taylor says that first you need to define the work process on scientific basis. Define the work process on scientific basis. Now tell me, this point I have told you or not? One experiment I told about CIMIT. What was that? Taylor defined the work process on scientific basis. He calculated average. What was the average? 15 minutes. 15 minutes. So, according to Taylor, in a steel company, in mid-village steel, if someone needs to carry a steel rod from point A to B, so on scientific basis, it should take how much? This work should take how much? Or this process should take 15 minutes. This is the first principle of Taylorism. That is why I told you about his experiment. Observation I also told you, because Taylor says that if you'll follow this, then there will be no conflict in industry. Number 2. Scientifically hire and train the employee as per work process. Now what is this? He's talking about hiring and training laborers on the basis of scientifically work process. So in this case, what is the scientific work process? 15 minutes. So Taylor is saying in second step, you need to hire those laborers who can carry rod A to B in 15 minutes. Simply this he is saying, nothing else. Okay. So now you have defined time. Now you are having laborers who can do this job in 15 minutes. Right? Number 3. Number 3 is bring 1 plus 2 together with detailed instruction. It simply means that I gave you one example of MACD. So when people are joining MACD, instructions are very clearly defined for every position. So you have clear instruction for work process. You have clear instruction for those people who are doing this work. Okay. Number 4 is somewhat unique. And this is the conclusion he got from observation which he was doing in the Mid-Valley Steel Company. Number 4, the fourth principle is division of responsibility between workers and managers. Why he was telling this? Why division of responsibility? And he says there should be equal responsibility between them. Why? Because if some problem used to happen, workers used to blame, manager used to blame. Why? Because the work was not scientifically defined, rather it was based on rule of, rule of thumb means what I am telling is right. This is simple meaning of rule of thumb. So manager used to take decision on the basis of rule of thumb rather than on any scientific basis. Okay. These 4 steps came to be known as Taylorism. Now, the experiment which I was telling you about MACD. So first define the work process on scientific basis. So the person who is frying the burger, the person who is packing the burger, who is putting vegetables, clearly they have been given time that in 30 seconds you need to fry the burger. In 20 seconds you need to put the vegetable. Right? Again in 10 seconds you need to do the packing. In 20 seconds you need to do a delivery. So work process is defined. Now step 2, scientifically hire and train the employee as per work process. So in MACD, you may have heard in job, first they will keep you as a probation. You know that? As a probationary officer. In civil service also, for 3 years you will be on probation. Probation means your job is not permanent. First they will see whether you are able to do this job properly. What is that? They will simply measure this work process. So in MACD, they will keep an employee for 15 days on the basis of probation. So what they will see in probation? This, whether you are doing the work as per work process or not. Everywhere. See, time is not defined, but in civil services, what they will do? When you are acting as a SDM, whether you are taking that responsibility seriously or not. It's not a big thing. Everyone will work. But here we are talking about laborers. Remember this. Taylor is talking about laborer, and you may be knowing in any factory or any job, the work of laborers is very hectic, very laborious. Number 3, he is telling, if you got the proper person, you just give detailed instruction here also and here also what they need to do. Okay? So this is about laborers, and number 3 is about managers also, that there should be equal responsibility rather than rule of thumb. scientifically everything is designed, and this is the scientifically everything is decided here. Right? And how you will do this? How you will do? See, this is the 4 step of Taylorism. How you will do this? So Taylor also gave some techniques for that. That techniques I have also told you, but simply I didn't tell. I think I have told you. So for this, for Taylorism, he also gave some techniques. So techniques of Taylorism. So number 1, he used time and motion study. Right? Number 2 is called standardization of work. Okay, number 2 is number 3 is exception principle. Acha, in many books, these two are separately. So in some books, this is called time study and motion study. Okay. See, what is this standardization of work? Have you heard this? ISO mark on refrigerator press. Have you heard this? You know that 24 karat gold, 22 karat gold. What is that? Standard, they are defining that thing scientifically. That is pure. So Taylor tried to define work in a standard format. So if this is the standard, it means that efficiency will be there, maximum output will be there. Today we are using Taylorism every day. I give you example. Anna? Gold. And what is this? Why they are doing standardization of 22 karat, 18 karat and 24 karat gold? Very clearly they are defining what is this. Right? Exception principle simply means that, let us say someone is performing even better than what is defined. So someone is carrying a steel rod not in 15 minutes but in 10 minutes. So you give bonus for that extra work. Right? And Taylor says that, Frederick Wilson Taylor says that if you will apply, write this, if you will apply techniques of Taylorism, or if you will organize the industry on the 4 principles of Taylorism, then it will be the best way of achieving, it will be, and underlying the best way, it will be the one best way or the best way for achieving maximum efficiency and output in industry. then mark one arrow like this, make one arrow like this, and then write from here, due to this everyone will be benefited, that is workers, managers, owners of industry, and consumers. Then in bracket write, this idea came to be known as mental revolution by Taylor. Mental revolution by Taylor. Taylor says that it will benefit everyone and there will be mental revolution. Right? Now what happened? When Taylor gave this principle, right, he was very skeptic whether this will work or not. But he even not expected that in hardly 5 years in whole world this technique became very famous, right? So what happened in 1910, as I told you, US, the economy is completely based on private sector. So one company was there, it used to manage trains. Trains in India is maintained by government, but in USA it is maintained by private industry. So what happened, one company was there, the name of company was Eastern Railroad. Right? The name of that company was Eastern Railroad. So this company increased the charges for common people in 1910. Right? Okay. So against this, one lawyer was there. His name was Louis Brandeis, advocate. His name was Louis Brandeis, very famous name, who later on became judge of Supreme Court of USA. He went to the court against this. So Eastern Railroad in court said this, that Eastern, see this, don't write much. There one term will come. This, because Taylorism later on became very famous by some another term. How that term came, this I am telling you. So this advocate argued that the price rise which this railway company is hiking is based, that is unnecessary and unscientific. So Eastern Railroad said in court that we are facing difficulty in managing our railroad. That is why the loss which we are now suffering, for covering that loss, we have increased the prices. So Louis Brandeis said in court during argument, have you heard this basic structure of constitution? How this term came? Who told this first time that there is a basic structure of the constitution? It was the lawyer who was arguing in court that basic structure of constitution is there, on which government can't interfere. So when Supreme Court was writing that judgment, it used that word that, okay, there is basic structure of constitution. That is how this word came. So advocate Louis Brandeis says that Eastern Railroad is suffering the loss that is not due to common people. That is because they are running this railroad on the basis of unscientific principle, and they should adopt one principle. That principle is called Taylorism, and Taylorism will lead to the scientific management of this company. Okay. Advocate Louis Brandeis argued that the charges which Eastern Railroad has hiked, the charges are not based on logic, they are unnecessary, right? Because there are unscientific reasons which are followed in this company, which is resulting in the loss. Rather than this, he recommended that Eastern Railroad should adopt the techniques of Taylorism. What will happen with that? There will be scientific management of this Eastern Railroad. So case was postponed on this. Then what happened? Supreme Court told you need to elaborate more on this. Then he went to Taylor, and Taylor proved that if Eastern Railroad applies his principle, per day they can save $1 million. $1 million per day. You know what is that? 10 lakh rupees per day. And when they implemented it, really they started saving the money. And from here, Taylorism became very famous with some other name, the scientific management theory, in short SMT. Now just see this. What is written? The classical theory and right in bracket Taylorism. So in UPSC, many questions UPSC is asking, there only one word will be written, the scientific management theory. Okay? Scientific management theory means what? Taylorism. And how this theory came? The story of Eastern Railroad. Okay? So this was about Taylorism. Now what is the impact of Taylorism? What is the relevance of Taylorism? What is the criticisms of Taylorism? That we are going to cover in next class on Monday. Just tell me today whether you got or not. You are able to understand everything. Because Taylorism, if you'll understand properly, you can use it in many answers. But the issue is people are finding very difficult to understand Taylor. See, maths also we saw. See, this is the most difficult thinker to understand. After this, everyone is very simple. No. Very simple. Very simple. For understanding Rensis-Likert, you need to understand MacGregor and Maslow. He simply expanded those two thinkers, nothing else. They are not very big thing, because see, this person has done experiment in laboratory. Factory was laboratory for him. So if someone is doing the experiment in laboratory or somewhere, it is somewhat difficult to understand, right? So in detail I told you, है? This is Taylorism. Now what you need to do, 2-3 things. When you are getting the book, write this in assignment I am giving you. Read Woodrow Wilson and Frederick Wilson Taylor. Okay. Now second, one more activity you need to do. From internet, search the meaning of number 1 comment, number 2 discuss, number 3 evaluate, number 4 elaborate. Okay. So what you need to do, search the meaning, then write in one sheet what is the meaning and just give it to me. Okay. So this is your assignment test. Okay. Now it is around 2 hours 5 minutes. So we will stop here. ठीक है, समझ में आया ना you people? और हाँ, any doubt? No. ठीक है, चलो.